the self-directed, individualized education plan.
Hi, I'm Zeke. I'm in high school. I've been in special ed since elementary school. Because I'm in special ed, I have an IEP. That's short for Individual Education Plan. In the IEP, there are goals. We set these goals in a meeting called a staffing. I started going to my staffings a couple of years ago. In my special ed classes, I've learned to be in charge of my own IEP. I've learned to run my staffings and to work on my goals all year long. There are 11 things you need to know so you can run your own IEP staffing. In this video, you'll see me do these 11 things. I explained them to my friend Maya when she was getting ready to go to her first IEP staffing. Hi, Maya.
Hi, Zeke.
What's happening?
Not much.
You seem kind of down. What's wrong?
I don't know. My teacher says I have a staffing coming up, and she wants me to go to it.
What's wrong with that?
Why would I want to go? I don't even know what it is.
In your staffing, you'll get a look at how you've done over the last year and get an idea of where you're headed next year.
Why do I have to go to a meeting to do that?
At this meeting, you do an IEP. That's your individual education plan.
What's that?
It's a plan of things you need to do to be successful and how you're going to accomplish them.
What kind of things?
Like how you're doing in your classes, how you're getting along with other people, and what your career interests are.
That's a lot to talk about. That's my whole life.
Yeah, not only what you're doing now, but what you'll be doing in the future.
You mean what I'm going to be doing when I'm out of high school?
Yeah, that's why it's so important.
Zeke, that sounds like a lot of scary stuff to me.
It was the same for me when I went to my first staffing. But don't worry, once you get the hang of it, you'll be glad you went.
Who's going to be there? I don't feel comfortable with a lot of grown-ups.
All the people that can help you in making decisions about your future. Your mom and dad will be there, your special ed teacher, the counselor, and whoever else is important in helping you plan for next year.
How long does this meeting last?
Usually an hour.
I don't know if I want to go.
Do you want other people making decisions for you?
No.
This is your life. You want to get in there and let them know what you want to do.
But I'm nervous around all those people.
Well, they're there to help you decide what you want to do and how you're going to reach your goals. You still look scared. Let me tell you about my meeting. I ran my last staffing.
How do you know how to do that?
I learned how to in class. First, I introduced everyone and told why they were there.
Number 1. Begin meeting by stating purpose. Number 2. Introduce everyone.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my IEP meeting. We're here today to review my goals, my progress towards them, and to make new goals for next year. Let me start by introducing everyone. These are my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Pyro.
Hi, we're looking forward to seeing how Zeke's doing.
This is my guidance counselor, Miss Lane. I've asked her to fill out the forms while we talk.
Zeke and I have met a couple of times to talk over his plans for next year and after school.
This is my English teacher, Mr. Martin.
Hello, thanks for coming. Zeke is doing much better in my English class this year than he did last year.
This is my special ed teacher, Miss Witter.
Zeke has been in my transition class this past year, and running this meeting, he'll be using the guidelines and techniques he's used in that class.
This is the transition specialist, Miss Maxon.
Hi, I'm here to help Zeke with his transition goals. Transition goals map out where he's headed in the future.
And Mr. DePaul is from the State Rehab Office.
Hi, I'm going to help Zeke get the education and job he wants after he graduates from high school.
I can handle introducing everybody. But then what do you do?
Well, next, I looked at my goals and reviewed how I'd done. I talked about how I did in my classes and how I did on reaching my goals. I asked everybody else how I'd done.
Number 3. Review past goals and performance. Number 4. Ask for others' feedback.
I had 3 goals for last year. My first goal was to improve my responsible behavior by coming into class with the things I need and getting my homework in on time. I did this by keeping a big notebook with extra paper and pencils in it. In the notebook, I kept an assignment sheet where I wrote down what I had to do and when it was due. I checked off the ones I handed in. I figure I got 16 out of 20 assignments in, and that's 80%. How do you all think I did on that goal?
Well, Zeke, I looked through your files in the counseling office, and I see that last grading period you had D's and F's, and now you have C's, so what you're doing is working.
Zeke, you did improve turning in your English assignments, but unfortunately several were late, and that's what caused your grade to drop from a B to a C.
I know. I'll work harder next year. My second goal was a career awareness goal. I looked at different careers by shadowing employees at 3 different job sites. I interviewed workers on their type of training and their job duties. I matched my skills and interests to what was on the job. I like the hospital best.
At the job site and in the class, you use the job shadowing forms. With them, I think you realize that your first job choice of working in the auto body shop didn't match your interest or skills.
Mom, what do you think about me working in the hospital?
I was surprised at first, but when you told me how you came to that decision using the job shadowing forms, it made sense.
My third goal was to get to know more people and do some things with them. I did that. I got to know Ted. We get together on weekends now.
Zeke is usually so shy, but he's really come out of his shell this year. He and Ted study together and go to the movies, and he's even been to a couple of parties.
So, the first part of the meeting is reviewing goals and talking about how I did.
Wow, how did you know how to do all that?
I learned it in class. My special ed teacher helped me pick goals and figure out ways to meet them. We also talked about goals for after high school. In my staffing, when I had finished talking about what I did this year, I talked about what I will do next year. Sometimes, I had to ask questions when I didn't understand what was said.
Number 5. State your school and transition goals. Number 6. Ask questions if you don't understand.
I think I did a good job on my goals for this year. Now let's take a look at what my goals will be for next year.
My job as transition specialist is to help you be successful when you leave school. To do that, let's take a look at your transition goals as well. That might include things like getting a job, continuing your education or training, working on independent living skills, and making good choices.
Oh yeah, we talked about transition things in class.
Good. Another important transition goal is that you be involved with adult service providers that can help you once you're out of school. That's why it's great that you invited Mr. DePaul, your vocational rehabilitation counselor, here today.
It's good for us to meet while you're still in school.
Zeke, what do you have in your class notes that you would like to do this coming year and when you graduate from high school?
I think I can raise my grades to B's if I get all my work in on time.
I think that's a good choice. What else do you think you might need?
Zeke, it sounds like you have an interest in hospital work. Do you have any plans to follow up on that?
Yes, my special ed teacher and I talked about me doing some job shadowing and then a job tryout at the hospital.
So a transition goal of yours is employment. I think the job tryouts are a good idea. We can start this summer with the job. Have you considered the Summer Jobs for Youth program?
I helped Zeke fill out all the paperwork for that.
Good. That'll be a nice opportunity for you, Zeke. Let me know if I can help.
So, Zeke, your goal is to explore vocational opportunities at the hospital by doing job shadowing, job tryout, and working there during the summer. This will give you a better understanding of what type of job you would like to do there.
That way you can match the job to your skills and interests. That's very important.
Zeke, is there anything else in your notes that you would like to work on?
Yeah, I'd like to make more friends.
It's good that Zeke has Ted for a friend, but he spends far too much time with just him.
So you still want to work on peer relations?
I don't know what she means. I better ask.
What do you mean by peer relations?
This has to do with how you get along with others your own age.
Okay, yeah. I really like Ted, but we always do the same things. I want to try some new things and meet some new people.
Okay, we can do that.
Gosh, it sounds like you did a great job of saying what you wanted. But what happens if they try to get you to do something you don't want to do?
Oh, that happened to me, and I had to speak up and let them know what I wanted. Then we worked it out.
Number 7. Deal with differences in opinion.
What classes will Zeke be taking next year? He has such a beautiful voice. I'd really like to see him take choir.
I don't want to be in choir all year. I'd better speak up.
Choir's okay, but I'd really like to take art. I like my freshman art class, and I'd really like to take ceramics next year.
I thought you liked singing. You did so well when you were in the choir in the 8th grade.
I do like to sing. I just don't like the performances. I'd rather take ceramics next year because I really like working with clay. I had to speak up so that I could take the class I really wanted.
I don't think I could do all that you did in your staffing.
It seems like a lot, but my teacher helped me get it all ready in class, so it wasn't that hard in the staffing. Let me tell you about the rest of my meeting. I finished the meeting by reviewing next year's goals and deciding who was going to help me with them.
Number 8. State the support you will need. Number 9. Summarize goals.
I think we've covered everything. Miss Lane, will you read back my goals for next year, please?
Sure, Zeke. Your first goal is to improve your grades from C's to B's by getting your work in on time. The measure for this is keeping track of the assignments and how many you turn in on time. Goal 2 is to explore vocational opportunities by doing job shadowing, job tryouts, and getting summer employment at the hospital. Your third goal is to make more friends and increase the variety of your recreational activities.
I can keep track of my first goal using the assignment sheet, the same way I did last year. That worked pretty well.
Zeke, if you'd like, I can help you with that next year because you'll be in my English class again.
Through the vocational program in my class, I can help you with your career goal. We'll graph the jobs at the hospital and see how they match with your interests and skills.
Can you help me with making new friends?
Yes, I can help you to work on ways for making new friends. I can also help you to figure out a way of how to keep track of how you're doing on that goal.
Number 10. Close meeting by thanking everyone. Number 11. Work on IEP goals all year.
Well, I guess that's it. Thanks for coming, and thanks for all the help you've given me this year. I'm really glad that you'll be able to help me with my goals next year, too.
Zeke, you really did a nice job.
So that was my staffing. When it was over, we summarized the goals, and I thanked everyone for coming.
So that's it?
Well, no. The next day, my special ed teacher and I went over what happened. Now, you'll see me and my teacher review my staffing and the 11 things that you should know.
Zeke, how'd you feel about your staffing yesterday?
I think it went really well. I was a little nervous at first, but once I said why we were having the meeting and introduced everybody, I relaxed.
Number 1. Begin meeting by stating purpose. Number 2. Introduce everyone.
You seemed comfortable.
When I started reviewing my goals, I realized how much I had accomplished this year. I was scared to ask my teachers how I'd done, but it was okay.
Number 3. Review past goals and performance. Number 4. Ask for others' feedback.
You've made a lot of progress over the last year, and you did a really nice job setting up goals for next year. And you included things that will really help you when you get out of high school.
I'm excited about working at the hospital.
Number 5. State your school and transition goals.
I also think you did a great job of asking questions when you didn't understand what was being said.
You mean when the counselor said that stuff about peer relations?
Yes, and it was a good thing you asked what she meant by that.
Number 6. Ask questions if you don't understand.
You really learned to advocate for yourself, like when you told your mother that you would rather take art instead of choir.
That was kind of hard, but she really listened to me.
Number 7. Deal with differences in opinion.
You also asked for the help you needed to meet those goals.
Well, I knew you could help me with my job tryouts in the hospital. And I was really glad that the counselor and my English teacher said they'd help me on my other goals, too.
Number 8. State the support you will need.
You know, I even remembered to summarize the goals and thank everyone for helping me when I closed the meeting.
Number 9. Summarize goals. Number 10. Close meeting by thanking everyone.
You ran a great staffing, Zeke. All that work paid off. Next year in class, we'll be working on reaching those goals.
Number 11. Work on IEP goals all year.
Next year's going to be great.
I think so, too.
So, that was how my staffing went. But the staffing is just the beginning. In class, my special ed teacher and I figure out ways to work on my goals all year.
That doesn't sound too bad.
In your first staffing, you won't have to do all that I did in mine. You'll learn how to do this in class. Each staffing, you'll have more responsibilities. The important thing is, you're learning to have a say in your own life.
That's great. I'm so glad I talked to you. I feel so much better about going to my staffing now.
Well, if you want, I could come to your staffing and help.
That'd be nice. Thanks.
Well, give me a call. See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Maya.